So I was pleasantly surprised to see how well the explanations of percentages in fighting games went. I'm still getting comments about people who said that they learned something new and want me to talk about more fighting game terms. One of the ones heard about was jailing, but honestly, I have a much more interesting topic to talk about, and one that I think you should be focusing on maybe before you start thinking about jailing, and that is the concept of footsies.
Conan.
So, what on earth
Homelander.
is footsies? How do you play footsies in a fighting game? Like, it's not the same thing as playing footsies at the dinner table, I'll tell you that much. So, let's do this combination and
Outstanding.
head out here. So, in the most basic of terms, footsies is kind of figuring out what your furthest reaching buttons are and what buttons reach where, so that while you're moving and jockeying for position, you could take your effective position. I picked Conan because Conan has a lot of moves that make for killer footsie options. Forward 2, back 1, standing 3, standing 4, standing 2. Standing 1 is even a good footsie tool because of its speed. So, when you want to play footsies, you want to jockey for position and you want to take your turn. You hit him with a plus. You hit them so that you're plus enough in order to confirm or to force block situations. The idea is that you're jockeying for position and trying to hit the opponent without them hitting you. It's, well, footsies. Now, a good friend of mine, Cherny Voke, you may also know him as obsolete something? Obsolete something? I don't know. But Cherny Voke, who is a who is an older fighting game player from way back in the day, he did a video talking about Abare, which is a bit more of an advanced thing, but follows off of footsies. So if footsies are how you use your best reaching buttons while moving, while trying to jockey for position, so that you could do whatever you want, what happens when you start playing footsies without moving? And you're just doing any movement comes from your buttons or from, and you're using that for your footsies. That is Abare. Abare is when you're using footsies, but not moving. So if you have, I'm going to steal his example because it was a really good one. I'm gonna steal his character to prove the point.
Smoke. Homelander. Frost. Jinko. The Tea House.
Because Smoke has a pretty good example of this. And that is 1114, this string right here. Now, in theory, you are not only unsafe, but not only are you unsafe on this, you are theoretically punishable from moves that can reach you before you could do anything, like block or what have you. But the thing is, when an opponent is blocking this, see that pushback? It means that for most characters, they have to move in a little bit in order to do their punishes, or they have to re-jockey for position. Smoke can bait and exploit that. So if I were to I wish I knew there we go. So he should set this to this. No, that did not come out. Why is that not working? should be reversing with that, shouldn't he? Oh, it's not even on. That's why. Right. But you notice how that move, back one, did not reach. If I tried to move in and do a punish, the Homelander would blow me up. Right? And that's really bad because I've pushed him back and I get punished because I'm -7, right? Well, wrong, because what I could do is actually, with the right moves, Journey's gonna kill me for that combo, but still. I was able to tag him by not moving, calling his bluff, and using a form of footsies, because standing 3, standing 2 actually reach decently far for fast buttons. You know what I mean? So this is where Abare comes in, because when you realize that you don't have to move in order to play the game, you can sit and wait. This is very common in an old style of playing called turtling, where you just defend and counter from there. Guile and E Honda from classic Street Fighter games, those guys were turtles to a T. And Smoke is probably the closest you'll get to a turtle-type character in Mortal Kombat, because Mortal Kombat is ridiculous on offense. But again, I can try to dash in and get my punishes, or I can just bait it. I can just bait whatever is coming in by standing still. Stillness, as well as movement, can help you in a combat situation. Knowing when to move is as important as knowing how to move. And sometimes the best policy is to just not move at all. Let them come to you. Let them overextend. Because once they overextend, you can get whatever you want out of that. So this is super duper basic level what Footsies and Abare are. And I'm not expecting you to take this video, watch it, go into the lab for a couple of hours, and become a god of Footsies. That's not how this is going to work. Learning your Footsies is going to require you understanding your character, the enemy's character, how far they can reach, how far you can reach, and frame data. Plus, the idea of whether you want to move forward or move back or not move at all. This sort of multi-branched, multifaceted way of thinking in high-pressure situations is what separates good fighting game players from great fighting game players, and separates great fighting game players from legendary fighting game players, is if they can fully understand stuff like Abare and even some other relatively unusual sounding terms like okizeme, which is relatively simple, but okizeme is another one of those things that you have to learn if you're looking to really get good at fighting games. Obviously, if you're just looking to plug and play, it's this stuff, it doesn't really matter. But for those of you who want to compete, for those of you who want to get good, for those of you who want to learn how fighting games work, learn your Footsies, and please, for the love of God, learn your Abare. Let me know if there's any terminology, fighting game terms or whatnot that you want me to discuss. Okizeme, frame traps, jailing, whatever tickles your fancy, let me know. And don't forget to be awesome. I'll see you guys around.